Live. All right. Let me get ready to tweet this out. Okay. Don't call me Danny. What is up? Give me a second, sir, so I can tweet this out, and then we'll get on with the official intro. All right, tweet sent. Okay. We are officially underway. Yo, 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 what is good, everybody? This is your boy Lincoln Clay coming at you. Let's all be one cohesive unit and hit that like button to help spread the content to a wider audience. And make sure you hit the bell icon to stay notified whenever I put out new content. I would appreciate it. If you are a new subscriber to the channel, welcome aboard. I hope you are enjoying the content. And welcome back for another edition of The Lincoln Show. It's been a couple of weeks, but my next guest, I am so happy to have him aboard. My next guest is the man who coined the phrase, "That shit is trash." I'm speaking of none other than objdadon. Welcome to the show, my friend. How about you shoot an intro to the audience?
What's going on, folks? Y'all know what time it is. objdadon, here with my good man Lincoln Clay. Let's get this show on the road. Talk about some games, you know what I mean? Specifically some games or whatever it is that you want to ask, and just don't ask me about trash, okay? We good to go.
All right, for sure, for sure. So to start off with, the very first question is, by the time I discovered your channel, it appeared you hadn't put out any content in about a month, and I had kind of heard that you might have taken a break. What was going on with that?
Nah, I mean, really, when it comes to like YouTube, for me, I'm not really taking it really serious at the moment. So I pretty much started my channel off of a rant about Call of Duty like a long time ago, like a rant about Call of Duty Ghosts. And it pretty much became just my avenue. YouTube became my avenue to just express when I'm pissed off at some shit, basically. So if I ain't got too much to rant about, or I feel tired about ranting about what I'm ranting about, you won't see me. It could be a week, it could be 2 weeks, could be a month. You know what I mean? I guess that's so-called taking breaks in between, but I just pretty much want to be passionate about whatever I talk about when I do talk about it.
All right, no doubt. I feel the same way. That's kind of what prompted me to start my channel too. I had a lot to say about a lot of things I wasn't happy about with the gaming industry, and I think crying to the same people was probably getting on their nerves, and that's one of the things that prompted me to start a YouTube channel. So my next question is, a lot of people are still making an issue about crossplay. What's your thought on that?
Crossplay. I mean, I still yet to this day really understand what is the need for it, or what's the big hoopla about it. The way I actually feel about it, or whatever's going on out there that everybody's fussing about, is I personally just don't give a shit. I mean, can we curse on here? Because you already know how my mouth is.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I like I told Jay Wags when he came on the show, be objdadon. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, I personally just don't give two shits about all of that extracurricular activity. Basically, the way I see crossplay is, I mean, I guess it has something to do with expanding the player base on other systems or some shit like that, the player pool or whatever. But I don't have any problems connecting when I'm on any type of multiplayer game, when I'm on the PlayStation or the Xbox, you know what I'm saying? Even a goddamn Nintendo Switch. So I don't really understand what's the purpose. I'm not against it, but I'm also not out here actually acting like I give a fuck about it either, because I just don't. You can't make me care about something that I don't. What I do care about is goddamn games. Okay, that's what I do care about. That Last of Us 2 was amazing out that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But all I know is I see a lot of people who go out here and actually seem to protest and seem downright disgusted. Now, if they are downright disgusted and it is their true feelings, and I have no problem with that. I mean, be passionate about whatever you're passionate about. But a lot of people are protesting this and that, but they seem to select exactly what they protest about. That's my only issue with it. If you say one thing is anti-consumer, you know what I mean, then what about the next thing that is anti-consumer that you're not saying a goddamn thing about? I mean, I hate to ramble on, but I need to say some shit real quick.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Um, Basically, what was it, about 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago? When the hell was Call of Duty announced? All I know is Black Ops announced that they won't go have no damn single player campaign in it. Now, you know how I feel about my single player campaigns. I don't really care too much about the COD single players, but I do care that single player campaign is being taken out of my game. I think that Black Ops 1, that's one of my favorite campaigns ever. It's short and everything, but it's one of my favorite campaigns in the Call of Duty game when it comes to that. My thing is, when I brought that up, I spoke about it on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't believe the actual reception that I was getting. It was like when I brought up the fact that, you know, Call of Duty doesn't have a campaign, people was telling me to go eat a dick and do all types of shit, man. They was like, they don't care. They don't care that they have actually took a goddamn single player campaign, which is content, away from what you used to pay $60 for. But they all of a sudden care that some crossplay ain't happening on a goddamn system when you got plenty of people to play with in the first place. People seem to pick and choose exactly what they protest after. You know what I mean? I made a comment about this new Fallout 76 game going with always online and all of this bullshit, when I'd rather just play goddamn Fallout by my goddamn self and immerse myself into the world. People say I'm tripping. You're going to still be able to do that. Then it comes out that, you know, you can't do that. And Fallout says you're always going to be around other motherfuckers in the goddamn Fallout universe. You understand what I'm saying? So they
Yeah.
basically turning this motherfucker that used to be an immersive story, single player game, into a goddamn games of service. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. It's all types of fuck shit around us. All types of fuck shit around us. But people seem to basically select exactly what they want to protest. How I feel about this bullshit with this crossplay or whatever, I'm not against it, but I'm damn sure not for it either. I simply just don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
And that's pretty much.
that is a excellent point because you know, I felt like with millions of players on each platform, I don't see how you're going to have a problem finding somebody to play with. So I've said that before. If you got uh, 35 million people on an Xbox and you can't find a person to play with, then that seems to be your, you know, that seems to be your problem. So I don't get it, you know. But so moving on to my next question, how do you feel about a new Xbox in development and the Xbox One X hasn't been out a year yet?
Yeah, going back to, you know, what I said about people protesting, people picking what they like to protest. That's one of the fucking things. Like, okay, we're smart individuals. I mean, everybody in the know, everybody's in this chat right now. I mean, I think it's safe to say that we are gamers that are in the know. Okay, so we pretty much know that Sony is working on another console. We pretty much know that Microsoft is working on another console. I think they start working on these consoles like right after they release one, to tell you the truth. They definitely start doing the R&D. They definitely start doing the research for them. The thing is, I just bought this goddamn Xbox One X like few months ago, I guess. I can't even fucking remember, but I know the damn thing was what released last year sometime, right?
Mm-hmm.
Last year at the end of the year. The thing is, we know that they're working on another goddamn console. I mean, that just goes without saying. I don't want to hear, you know what I mean? That's my thing. I don't want to hear that you're working on another console right now. You don't have to tell me that shit. What I need you to tell me is that you're going to support this box that I just bought, okay, with brand new first party content. Now there is a lot of things that were announced at Microsoft's E3 or whatever, you know what I'm saying, that I am happy about and I've been pushing for, which is like the studios, even though I don't, you know, I think a few of them studios are pretty much suspect until they show me otherwise. I love the Ninja Theory pickup. So I've been pushing for them to get studios. That's an applause for them. That's an applause. But at the end of the day, they still don't seem to have been prepared at all for this whole generation, and that's a problem. You know what I mean? It's still bullshit at the end of the day. After you show me a whole conference or whatever, and uh, all I have to look forward to out of it is basically the same shit, which is my favorite franchise on Xbox, which is Gears 5, another Gears. You see what I'm saying? But nothing brand new of AAA quality. That upsets me. And now you want to tell me that you're about to release another goddamn console. I'm not trying to hear that. I'm not trying to hear nothing about another console, you know, until you support the motherfucker that I just bought. That's pretty much how I feel about that.
You know, that is a excellent point. And truth be told, I'm not exactly sure what the uproar is about, because I don't know if people know this or not, but last October, Phil Spencer said pretty much that the research and development process never stops. And he said, we're already working on the next Xbox right now as we speak. And he said this in October of last year, even though the Xbox One X hadn't even come out yet. So just like you said, I understand how that works, but I also felt the same way you do too, that probably wasn't a good idea to announce that you're already working on the next console and the Xbox One X hasn't come out yet, because you make the Xbox One X obsolete already before it even launches by letting everybody know you're working on another console. So I definitely agree that, you know, yeah, sure, you're working on another console, but that probably wasn't a good idea to let everybody know about it.
Yeah, I mean that's the last thing I wanted to hear. You know what I mean? I don't want to hear nothing about. I mean, when we say literally just bought, you know, I'm pretty sure you stayed away from the X. Do you own an Xbox?
I own the original Xbox One,
Okay.
but the Xbox One X, I bought one for my son, and after I bought the Xbox One X for my son, I did the side by side comparisons, and then with the naked eye, because I don't have digital foundry type equipment. And based on what I saw, most of the games looked the same. Therefore, I did not see a reason to buy the Xbox One X when I had the PlayStation Pro.
Yeah, well, that probably was a good call. That definitely probably was a good call because, especially knowing what we know now, you know, I have a problem with having to have new shit. You know what I'm saying? Having to see shit for myself. You know what I mean? And that's basically why I took a stab at it. I pretty much knew. I had a little faith. I had a little confidence that a console manufacturer, a gaming publisher, would actually support their system with some new IPs that dazzle us. I had a little faith. There was a little bit of faith there with me, but I also knew at the same time, judging from history of what Microsoft has done since this goddamn generation began, that they didn't really have anything to show us. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of like take the L on getting the goddamn X, but I won't say that I'll tell you this much. The X is worth the money. It's worth the money as far as the hardware that's inside it. I think it's definitely money, you know what I'm saying, as far as the power that you get for it, you know. And I guess if you're in a Blu-ray, you know, HD, whatever the hell they call 4K Blu-rays or whatever, that's cool or whatever. But the thing that makes it just piss me the fuck off is, you know, it doesn't have any first party games that really take advantage of it and show the true power of the goddamn system. You know, fine. You know, you want to say that you know, you got a 4K version of this game or whatever, you know, and it's what 1800 on the Pro or whatever. I mean, I got to be honest. You know, when I look at both versions, I just can't tell. I just can't tell. You see what I'm saying? But what I could tell was that the update they sent for Gears 4, that shit look lit. You know what I mean? I can tell that. I can see that shit look lit. The update they gave for what was it? The Playground Games one, the goddamn Forza Horizon. That shit look lit. That's what I can tell, you know. But as far as these multi-plat games out there, they just don't have enough difference between the two systems for me to actually tell or feel that I would need a fucking X to play them. They just don't. And anybody who's saying otherwise, I mean, I just have to question what the fuck they talking about. That's pretty much how I feel about that.
Without a doubt, I kind of feel like my thing is several factors, a couple of things, a couple of huge things made me steer away from buying the X. And that was because Microsoft did not deliver on its promise of high fidelity VR. Because I do have a PlayStation VR and I do like VR. I'm a big supporter of VR. I'm a big pusher of VR, and Microsoft didn't deliver on that. And they don't have very many exclusives, and some of the exclusives that they do have frame rate issues, screen tearing, what have you. So that was the icing on the cake as to why I didn't buy the Xbox One X. If you want to, let me take a second to respond to a question that caught my eye in the comment section. This comes from JKS Guy Code. He wants to know, Lincoln or OBJ, when The Last of Us 2 comes out on the week of its release, are you going to play it remastered before The Last of Us 2 drops? And I'll start by answering that question, Guy Code, by saying that I'm not sure if I'll play it the week that it releases, but I will tell you that it is one of my favorite games. I do have it on the PlayStation right now, and I think the multiplayer is very underrated, and it's one that I still play from time to time. And in fact, Guy Code, I would say keep your eyes open in the near future that I will stream the multiplayer live. So with that being said, how do you feel about what Guy Code said, OBJ?
Oh, I mean, there's a good chance I'll probably pick it up and play it again. I just went through and played it like 3 straight times a couple of months ago again. Like 3 straight times on Grounded, man. I didn't want to come out of that world. I got tired of like playing shit that ain't really make me feel the story the way you know what I mean? Like when it comes to The Last of Us, the way the story is told and the whole atmosphere, the tense feeling, you feel for each one of the characters. There's just not many games that do it that way. There's just not many games that have affected me that way. It is my favorite game of all times. I thought that God of War would actually surpass it as my favorite game of all time, because it was damn near up there with it. But at the end of the day, Naughty God's The Last of Us is just something goddamn special. So I probably give it another playthrough, close to that time.
Don't call me daddy. I don't know if I'm just going to take it as this question is directed at both of us. And he wants to know if we plan on playing The Last of Us 2 with our subscribers. Yes, that's definitely something that I could do down the line, Danny.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, I definitely be up on that multiplayer. I hope they don't. The one thing I hope though is, that's because I really want the platinum in that game, and I do like the multiplayer, but I don't like the fact that they actually force you to they got multiplayer trophies in there. Like they force you to do the multiplayer, in order to get the platinum, because I mean, everybody doesn't play multiplayer. You know what I mean? So I hope they don't do that with the next one. I hope they just, keep that shit strictly to the story, because we do all really play goddamn The Last of Us for the story. But I mean, I definitely do like that multiplayer.
Mm-hmm. Actually, let me see here. Who is it? J-Dog. He actually just posted one of the questions I was about to ask you. And that's in regards to The Last of Us. But real quick, I want to answer Simply Deep 1985. Yes, I am a fighting game person. Simply Deep. I do have Tekken 7, and I've played against Titanfall Princess on some of her live streams, but I'll do some of my own live streams too. So definitely keep your eyes open for that. And getting back to the next question about The Last of Us, I'm sure you heard about The Last of Us selling 17 million. What do you think of that?
I mean, I mean, that's very welcome. That's very good and very deserved for that game. You know what I mean? I think it should have sold goddamn 100 million, man. That thing is, like I said, it's my favorite game of all time. I mean, I would basically goddamn go shoot at the cops to play the second one. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a damn. I need to play that damn Last of Us 2 right down now. But I think 17 million is that shit is phenomenal. That's phenomenal. You can't shit on that. Nobody can shit on that. Those are actual sales numbers, and they deserve the shit. You know what I mean? And I'd say if there's anybody out there who hasn't played it's like whew. When I get to playing when I get to talking about The Last of Us, my emotions come up. Yeah, my emotions come up. So bear with me here. But look, whatever. There's a lot of games that I don't mind anybody calling trash or mind anybody, mind anybody's opinions about or whatever. For the most part, I try to respect and honor everybody's opinion. I try to, you know what I'm saying? But when it comes to The Last of Us, any hate, I just don't understand how anyone cannot like the game. And I don't understand how anyone can call it anything other than a goddamn masterpiece. I just don't understand that. So really, if you do say something like that to me on Twitter or whatever, don't feel surprised when your ass get blocked or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, though, if you come to my channel talking about The Last of Us, talking some dirty shit, don't be surprised if your ass get blocked. That's all I'm saying, man. You can call that fanboy shit or you can call it whatever. But yes, I am a fanboy of Naughty Dog. No doubt about that. I love that goddamn Last of Us, man. That's how I feel about it.
Without a doubt. J-Dog, don't you worry. That campaign is going nowhere from The Last of Us 2. That is going to be the feature part of the game. What I'm concerned about is whether there'll be a multiplayer on The Last of Us 2. Because the multiplayer on the current Last of Us, as I said before, is very underrated. It gives the game replay value, and I really enjoy the multiplayer. So my next question, OBJ, is according to Phil Spencer, the Xbox One X does not hit 60 frames per second because of the CPU. I guess according to him, the CPU doesn't feed the graphics cards the information fast enough. So with that being said, do you feel like Phil Spencer and Microsoft knew that when they launched the Xbox One X?
Knew that it wouldn't hit 60 frames per second on every game?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
for a damn fact they do that. they definitely do that. But it's PR spin. It's all talk. You know what I mean? It's bullshit. They had a bunch of devs in the goddamn video say the shit and all of that bullshit, and he said it out of his mouth a couple of times, but then he took the shit back and all of this shit. Well, only our first party is gonna be like that, and their first party ain't all 60 frames per second either. You know what I mean? For the most part, the first party has been trash. Okay, it's let's be real. The first party games that have come out since then have been trash. Okay, the Gears update was lit. The Forza Horizon 3 update was lit. But when you talk about games like goddamn Sea of Thieves, although I think the art style is pretty good looking, it's the most fucking goddamn boring game ever created. When you talk about State of Decay 2, ooh, trash. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. They already talking about a State of Decay 3. Okay, they just bought the studio, but the first goddamn thing you announce is State of Decay 3. They already talking about working on a State of Decay 3. Who the fuck? I just don't understand. Why can't these people, okay, you can make State of Decay 3, but why can't you mention that perhaps have them work on another goddamn IP? That's all up. I hope they don't fuck up Ninja Theory. I really do hope they don't fuck up Ninja Theory. But yeah, we knew we knew all the fuckery once they said 4K 60 uncompromised. We knew that was. I mean, people with brains, people with actual brains, knew that that shit was a bunch of bullshit. Even with Halo, the goddamn people in the background moving at goddamn 30 frames per second. I don't even understand. But you know, they cutting corners. They cutting corners to hit that. I don't know why they are so concerned with hitting that 4K, especially this gen. You know what I mean? That would be something that I would think that you would, the native 4K and hopefully more 60 frame modes. I would hope that would come next gen. I wouldn't really expect that this gen for the money that we're paying. You know what I mean? Why don't you concentrate more on maybe bringing that shit down to about 1400p or 1800p, whatever you got to do to hit 60 frames per second. The game would still look beautiful instead of trying to push 4K. What the hell is a game like PUBG doing at 4K? It looks like trash. It runs like trash. I don't understand. You know, well, what does State of Decay 2 have to do? I mean, why is it 4K? It's trash. I don't even know if that's native, but I don't care. It just, the games are not on a competitive level for my dollar right now, and that is what most upsets me. You know what I mean? Beyond even the 4K 60 promise, is basically the quality level of the games that upsets me the most. You know, about that situation.
No question about that. And then you put out a console that you know had frame rate issues. You put out a console with pretty much no intent on putting out quality AAA exclusives. It pretty much sounds like, and then you're already talking about developing your next console. So it pretty much sounds like the Xbox One X was like a cash grab to me. So, which I think is some underhanded shit, you know, because I think, you know, even though the Xbox community, the Xbots themselves can be the most toxic, I also give credit where it's due that they are also the most loyal. And I think they deserve better. And I think Microsoft is, you know, pulls a little bit of bullshit on their loyal community. So that I don't, you
Yeah,
know.
well, it's definitely a cash grab when they already talking about some goddamn Scarlet. Only Scarlet I care about is Scarlett Johansson. That's a beautiful motherfucker. You know what I mean?
She got an
But
ass.
I don't want to hear shit about no damn other Scarlet, okay?
Oh yeah, Scarlett Johansson got an ass on her too. Well, they make sure you know that in the movies too, with the tight black ass pants. Anyway.
Oh yeah, yeah, Scarlett Johansson, Scarlett Johansson. Yeah, you know what I mean. I don't want to hear nothing about no damn Scarlett or no damn Neo 2, whatever the fuck the damn next PlayStation gonna be. You know, I don't want to hear none of that shit. You know what I mean? Because especially on the PlayStation side, because we got a lot of games to get out of before we start talking about some goddamn next generation.
Oh, you got that right. I've you know I've said it before. I've got about 150 games, maybe more, on my PlayStation, and I think I probably only completed maybe 10 of them at the most. So there's no doubt in my mind that my backlog is definitely going to carry over into the next generation. I probably won't even finish it before the next. I probably won't even finish it before I get, you know, pretty much deep into the next generation. But you know, I gotta be fair, and you know, I gotta throw a question in another direction. I gotta lob a question at Sony, and that is, how do you feel about Sony locking players out of their Fortnite account when they jump to another console? You know, I'm sure you're aware of that. That people who at some point logged into the PS4 on Fortnite, when they try to go to the Nintendo Switch and try to play the game, they are locked out of their account. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I feel like I've already answered that question, like the first one that you asked, that crossplay, whatever locking. I mean, what is the difference? I don't understand. Let me know, because I haven't really been reading up on it or following it. I've been looking at Last of Us 2 trailer, Death Stranding trailer, Ghost of Tsushima trailer, and Spider-Man footage. So explain to me what the difference is.
I haven't paid a terrible amount of attention to this situation, but from what I understand, that if if you create an account from the Xbox or PC, you can play on the Nintendo Switch with that Epic account, because it's about the Epic account and not so much the console account. So if you create your Epic account on a PC or on Xbox and you go to the Switch, you can still play, Fortnite, on the Switch.
I mean,
But
I don't know. I know about a month or so ago. When was it? A month or so ago when I downloaded the Division on the Xbox. None of my shit carried over. I know I had to goddamn start the hell over to play the damn
Mhm.
thing. I mean, actually, every damn thing has been like that. So I don't know why the situation is different here. I don't really understand. And to tell you the truth, I really don't care to understand because I just don't care. I mean, at the end of the day, I care about the games. Fortnite to me, I'm already uh, uh, pretty much put off by that because my son, that's pretty much all he plays at this point. You know what I mean? Until that and MLB, and then he wants that Spider-Man game. But that he's on that Fortnite a whole hell of a lot, right? So every other goddamn week, it seemed like he asking me for $20 for this, $20 for that, $20. I done spent more goddamn money on Fortnite than I done spent on every game this generation, and I don't even play it. So fuck Fortnite first and foremost. You know what I mean? And also, it's just that I don't care. Like I said, the things that I protest about. Okay, like people taking actual content out of a game, which is the single player portion out of a game to make it multiplayer only. Shit, I actually stand up for that matters to me, that I care about. Everybody told me to go fuck myself, so why should I care about this? I don't care. Basically, buy the system of whichever goddamn game you'd like to play. I mean, that's all I can say about that. I just don't care. Like I say again, I can't say it enough. I'm not against it, but I'm neither am I for it. I just simply do not care, and nobody can make me care about something that I don't care about. I can't sit here and get fake mad over some shit that I give no fucks about. What I'm mad about is the fact that my son keep asking me for $20 every damn 2 weeks to play the goddamn Fortnite. That's what I'm mad about.
Mhm.
Okay, so I mean, I just can't be fake raged about anything that I personally don't care about. I care about a lot of other shit. You know what I'm saying? There's much more important things to address out there. Whatever happened to the goddamn actor that played in Antoine Fisher? I don't see him in shit no more. You understand what I'm saying? That's some fucking real life situation shit. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know his name, but the nigga was a good ass actor in Antoine Fisher. Why aren't people concerned about that? You understand what I'm saying? Why are people concerned about that? You know, Game of Thrones ain't coming out until 2019. This is some real heavy duty life shit. Okay, what is the actual release date for The Last of Us 2? Now, that is the most goddamn important question ever asked in life. See what I'm saying? So when it comes to anything surrounding Fortnite, crossplay, whatever the fuck it is, I just simply do not care. And that's the only way that I can answer that question.
No doubt about that. I definitely understand, and I'm definitely with you in terms of kids asking for money because my son, every other week asks for money for microtransactions on Roblox. So I definitely know how you feel. But I don't know. But whenever my son asks for it, he only asks for $5 because he knows how I feel about microtransactions. So he tries to keep it to a minimum when he asks me for money.
Yeah, man, my son be boy, he be coming at me, coming at me. You know what I mean? But I mean, the way I see it is, he stays out of trouble. He do what I tell him. You know what I mean? I go ahead. He enjoys that game. He enjoys that game for some goddamn odd reason. But just because that game is free, folks, all I got to say that it ain't really free. Okay, you know what I'm saying? It ain't really. He enjoys it, so I'm just saying. I mean, I try to get him into other things. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, look, I don't care nothing about no Fortnite, whatever it is that you spending money on. But that's just how I feel about the situation. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. What's up, Vidiot? But I understand that too. My son is doing excellent in school. I'm not getting any calls that he's getting in trouble, falling behind in school, what have you. So, same deal. I got to reward my son. So I definitely understand that. Um, did you watch EA's E3? And if you did, what did you think of it?
I thought it was trash. That's what I thought it was. Absolute garbage. That shit was doo. Do you hear me? That shit was doo. You know. Basically, the only good thing I took away from it was well, Anthem. I am interested in Anthem, although I don't think a lot of these people who claim that they are all of a sudden interested in Anthem but didn't like games like Destiny or The Division. I don't think they gonna get what the fuck they really think that damn game is. But the major highlight for me, for me personally, was goddamn Battlefield. What is it? Battlefield 5 now.
Yeah.
Goddamn, how many of them? Battlefield 2, whatever the fuck they call it. You know what I mean? The fact that that game has a campaign, regardless whether you like that campaign or not, but that game has a campaign, and they announced a battle royale mode for it. Now, I personally don't give two shits about battle royale, but they actually added content for your $60 instead of taking content away. That's my highlight of the EA conference. You know what I mean? Basically showing a motherfucker like Activision or Treyarch that you don't have to take goddamn content away from people. That shit pisses me off. But everybody want to goddamn get behind this whatever the hell Epic account. Whatever, I don't even know nothing about it. It's bullshit. But they actually taking goddamn a whole single player mode away from Call of Duty. No one bats an eye. No one gives two fucks about it. So I commend EA and the DICE developers for actually adding content, showing how easy it is to put a goddamn big ass map in the game. You know what I mean? That battle royale should just be a game mode anyway. That's already in multiplayer. It's not a game. You know what I mean? So I commend them for actually adding that content and not taking the content away. Now, what I wanted to really get from EA, I wanted me a goddamn new fight night, but for some reason they keep green lighting goddamn NBA 2K or NBA Live. NBA Live is trash, total goddamn garbage, total garbage. But that game keeps getting a goddamn sequel, but no fight night. So that ultimately pissed me off. They demoed a cell phone game of all things, a cell phone game. I don't know what the hell, Command and Conquer, whatever. People say that was lit on PC or whatever. I don't give a fuck. It was trash. That's what it was. I mean, the whole conference was trash, but that Anthem do look lit. Anthem do look lit. I think I'll put some hours into Anthem. I'm definitely going to play Days Gone first, though. Get my single player fix first, but then I definitely I'll put some hours in the Anthem.
Oh yeah, no doubt about that. And to follow you up on that Command and Conquer, I definitely agree. That shit was trash. And then there was something else I was going to say, but I kind of forgot I was going to touch on something that you added. But anyway, was there anything at E3 that you were hoping to see but you didn't see it?
Oh yes, the Avengers. Where the fuck was the Avengers footage at? You know what I mean? I also wanted to see that. I mean, I don't really give to. I'm not into it like other people are, but the goddamn Splinter Cell. I wanted to, because I expected to see it, so I wanted to see it. But most of all, the Avengers gameplay, man. I wanted to see the Avengers gameplay. Also, what I would have hoped to seen from maybe from Sony is a goddamn sequel to The Order 1886. Man, I know that ain't popular with a lot of people, but I would love to seen a sequel to The Order 1886. But overall, I mean, we got a lot of fucking games out of E3. Most of them goddamn multi-plat games was at Microsoft's conference. I ain't gonna lie though, you got to give Microsoft out their props though, as far as a presentation. I don't think nobody's disagreeing with the presentation they had, because they came out, they pretty much took a page from Sony the other year when they hit you with all them trailers. You know what I mean? So I mean, back to back multi-plat trailers, you know what I'm saying, of some games that we care about, because without Microsoft show and Sony show, E3 as a whole would have been some trash, you know what I'm saying? So I give them props for that. But Yeah, that's pretty much what I mostly. Well, with that, let me go back. The Avengers, Splinter Cell, uh, uh, fucking a sequel to The Order, and that rumored. I guess I can't really get hyped about a rumor. I can't expect a rumor to show up, but the rumored Rocksteady Superman game.
Oh
That's pretty
yeah,
much what I didn't see.
definitely. And I want to answer a question real quick from well, not a question, but just to follow up what True Gamer 90 said. Uh I think the biggest reason why you do not see another Fight Night game, because it seemed like they can do it. They obviously can do it because they put out UFC. I you know I would like to think there's no reason they couldn't use that engine and that assets to create a Fight Night game. But from what I understand, I read it in an article a few
Hey,
years
hold
ago.
on, Lincoln. Hey, give me like 2 minutes, real quick. I'll be back.
Okay, I'll go ahead and chat with them. Uh, but while we're waiting for OBJ to come back, to finish what I was saying, uh, I read an article a couple of years ago. The EA said the current boxers right now are difficult to deal with because they think they're the next up and coming thing. So they want a ton of money to be on the game. And they said the older, the retired fighters are a lot easier to work with, and that's why you always see them on the game, but you don't see the up and coming current hot fighters at that time. So I believe that makes a lot of sense. And plus, on top of that, you're going around and you're dealing with these fighters individually on a one-on-one basis in terms of trying to work out contracts for them to be on the game. Whereas the UFC, first of all, that's where all the money's at right now in terms of fighting. There's a lot of money in UFC, and I think as far as dealing with the sport, in terms of licensing the fighters, you're only dealing with the UFC itself and not, you know, all the fighters individually. So basically, they're dealing with Dana White, I believe. You deal with Dana White and you get okay from him, and that's it. All the any fighter who fights under the UFC banners, can be on that game. And I think 2K did that, which I think wasn't a bad move about 10 years ago. I want to say about 10 years ago. They had a boxing. 2K came out with a boxing game. I think it was called Don King's Boxing or something like that. And basically, what they did was went to Don King, and all the fighters that he promoted was on that game. So they dealt with one person instead of dealing with the fighters.
Yeah, I don't give a damn what they gotta do. I don't care if they gotta go on the corner and sell some ass, man. Somebody need to make a fight night happen. You know what I mean? I don't like. There's no way that you can tell me that it costs too much money to do this and do that when you keep on putting out failing ass games. No, no, NBA Live is not worth the time and fucking money. It's just not. It's just not. It's not worth the time and money. Madden has, I know Madden sells, but Madden is trash. Okay, compared to what it used to be. I mean, Madden used to be halfway goddamn decent. You know what I mean? You got FIFA in a good spot. FIFA tearing shit up or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I just somebody has to get through to do whatever the fuck they got to do to be able to make either a fight night game or their own version of a boxing game. I know whoever does it, say if Microsoft did that shit, oh gosh, then I would actually have a reason to have my damn Xbox. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, somebody needs to do it. You might not. Okay, I'll tell you this much. My favorite mode on there was basically creating my own boxer and taking them online to fight people. You see what I'm saying? So somebody can make a boxing game where you can actually do that. It don't have to be the actual boxers and their names and all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Just make it have good physics, good fucking boxing animations like a fight night. You know what I mean? Somebody needs to do it. We don't necessarily, I mean, say this, go to all the greats. Go to all the greats. Like, I'm pretty sure people like Evander Holyfield and all of the greats that are out of boxing, they would like some money. You probably wouldn't have to pay them like you would have to pay a Floyd Mayweather or Manny Pacquiao or some, you know what I'm saying? But you could probably get them for the cheap. There's many ways that they can do it. I just want me a goddamn boxing game. and not
Oh,
ARMS from Nintendo. You feel me?
yeah, without a doubt. And this is this question was not scripted, but while we're on the subject of boxing, do you have a PlayStation VR?
No, I don't have a PlayStation VR yet. I just haven't pulled the trigger yet. I've been thinking about it. Every time they drop that damn price, I think about it, and then I'll be like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I kind of like would rather wait for the next iteration of it, because I think it'd be a little bit wireless. That's the only thing. Like, I think HDR doesn't pass through it and shit like that. Jump in. Usually, I am a early adopter, but I just don't think I want to jump in. I know I want it. I want VR, but I just don't know. I'm not sure if I want to jump into this iteration with VR.
Right. And my reason for bringing that up is, and True Gamer already beat me to it. The reason why I brought that up is because I wanted to ask you if you had any interest in playing that Creed boxing game that's on the PlayStation VR, that's coming up on the PlayStation VR.
Yeah, I am interested. I am interested in playing that joint, but I ain't just gonna buy that joint just for that. You know what I mean? So we'll see. I mean, I do things like this all the time. Like just today, I went and I got rid of my damn Nintendo Switch. So you know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? I know I'm gonna get me another one at some point in time when Metro Prime come out or whatever. But it just be a spur of the moment thing. If it ain't pleasing me right now, I go get it. If I might be sitting in here one day, and just think, you know what, I want to play VR, and then I might just go to the store and buy that motherfucker. But as of now, I'm not jumping on it yet.
I understand, but I do want to point out that I think this week I don't know if it's still going on this week or not, but they had the Days of Play sale. And retailers are selling the PlayStation VR for $200. But that's with the headset and the camera. But I think I've seen Best Buy advertising the Skyrim bundle, the VR headset, the camera, the Move controllers, and a copy of Skyrim for $250, which I think is a tremendous deal. So
Yeah, it's
yes.
definitely a good deal. I mean, I think $200 is a steal for that joint. It's just, I mean,
And I think Sony offers people an affordable version of VR because before Sony got into the game, I think you had to spend about $1,000, $1,500 to build a good enough computer to push the VR, and then you still had to pay $600-700 to get the Oculus or the Vive headset. So now, with VR, with Sony dropping that shit down to $200, I'm hoping that this thing will catch up where 2 out of 3 PlayStation owners will own a VR. So
Well, it's
I'm really.
definitely. Oh, I don't mean to cut you off, but I mean it's definitely the highest selling VR out there. You know what I mean? It's the most affordable, and it's good that Sony is getting all the research and development and everything out of the way with VR right now.
Mhm.
Doing it for the price they are. It's good that they actually had it work with your original PS4. You know what I mean? Oh, that's a good that's a pro consumer move, but nobody will talk about that. They just say VR is trash, okay? But they'd rather talk about a goddamn account on another. I don't know what the fuck it is, but you know what I mean.
Right,
But
yeah.
anyway, you know what I mean. So that the good thing is that although Microsoft, and I don't want to make this about Microsoft, but I do remember hearing them niggas correctly talking about they was going for the X. That shit never materialized.
Yep.
So I don't understand that. You know what I mean? So I would think that, like an Apple or somebody, how Apple might not feature or whatever from Android or whatever for a while, and everybody be like, well, Apple ain't got this, but Apple will fuck around and come out and actually make improvements to that feature when they do drop it, even though I don't fuck with Apple like that. You know what I mean? They actually wait and then try to, make improvements to the feature. I would think that Microsoft would see what the hell Sony is doing and then, come out with their own version of VR that may be improved in some way. But, they pretty much axed that shit after they promised that shit to all of us. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, but nobody says anything about it. Nobody says anything about that. They scrape it under the rug, as usual. So, that's how I feel. I think that VR is here to stay, though. I don't think it's going anywhere. I think that the next gen PlayStation, I think they're going to perfect it. You know what I mean? I think they're going to work on perfecting it. And I don't know. I may get one before then, or I may just wait it out.
Yeah, definitely. To touch on a couple of things before I move on to the next subject, about the Microsoft getting involved with high fidelity VR. If Microsoft would have followed through with that, with the high fidelity VR, even if they didn't have any AAA exclusives, like they don't right now, if they still would have followed through with the high fidelity VR, I would have bought it, because I was under the belief that with them teaming up with Oculus and as much power as the Xbox One X is supposed to have, I believe that the VR would have looked better on the Xbox One X than it does on the PlayStation. So if they would have followed through with that, then the Xbox One X would have been a day one purchase for me if they would have went ahead and followed through with the VR. Secondly, right now, as we speak, I guess there's a company developing a VR lens right now for Sony, I guess for the next iteration of the PlayStation VR. And from what I understand, this lens is better than anything that's out there right now. And so I would like to think with the power that the PS5 is going to have, along with this, this lens that's being worked on right now, Sony will definitely have a much better looking VR next generation. So that's also going to be a day one purchase for me. But for those who are on the fence about whether to wait or what have you, I definitely don't blame them. But I'll still make that push that I think for that Skyrim bundle, or that's for $250, you can't beat that, because just the move controllers alone cost $100. And so
Hey,
moving
hey,
along.
hey, hold on real quick. Hey, Wanye Tuda. I wish we still had the goddamn Connect, so I could tell the Connect to make me some goddamn games. That's what I wish. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
That's what I wish.
since the feds gonna be watching, I'll flip them the bird every day. Fuck y'all. So what was I gonna? Let me see. What's the next question? Do you think Microsoft had a good enough E3 to keep people from leaving? You know how everybody was threatening that they better see something good this year, or are they leaving? Do you think Microsoft gave them something good enough to keep them around?
I think the people who are, invested into the Xbox ecosystem, who are fully invested in it, and they're diehards. They ain't going no damn where regardless. But I think that they did do enough to show a glimpse into the future of, what can be the case, and I say can be because we need to see the results. You know what I mean? I think that I will say that their E3 this year was definitely probably the best E3 they've had up to this point. Now, that being said, we still talking about, mainly when it comes to AAA first party content, we still talking about Forza, Halo, and Gears. But you know what? Their diehard fan base, they love Forza, Halo, and Gears. I like Gears. You know what I'm saying? I like a little bit of Forza Horizon or whatever, but it's nothing that I would actually buy an Xbox for. You see what I'm saying? But I think that their overall conference, the fact that the highlight is the fact that they are actually investing into studios. Now, we have to see the fruits of the studios. That's what we have to see. But that is what I've been banging the drum for also, other than, new first party AAA IPs, was you need somebody to actually make those new first party AAA IPs. And the problem is, a studio like Compulsion and what's the other one they had? Undead Labs. They're pretty much indie studios, maybe with the right amount of money of backing, but we thought that Microsoft was backing Undead Labs on this version of State of Decay. It came out looking like total trash. I just don't know how to accept those. But the one that they're building from the ground up, like the what's the dude name, Daryl Gallagher or whatever, maybe we'll see. We'll see what type of content they can put out. And I know Playgrounds is very I know they're talented as far as making racing games, but I just can't get hype for them until I see something else, you know what I mean, that they can create. But the big one was Ninja Theory, because I'm a fan of their game. So I think that they did enough to, keep the diehards who are there with them. You know what I mean? Because they're gonna be there regardless. You already know that shit.
Hmm.
You lose some of them, but you ain't gonna lose the majority of them. Regardless. They're invested in that ecosystem, but they did not do anything to sell anyone else who's not a diehard fan or not invested in that ecosystem. They did nothing to sell them in Xbox. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. What up, Sick Humor? Um, so do you think I guess
What up,
the
sick?
I guess the some people in the Xbox community are really upset about that Gears tactic, that Gears strategy game going to PC and not the Xbox. You think they have a good reason to be upset about that?
I don't see nobody upset. I see like a video made by Rand or something. I've seen like a couple of videos, but nobody's really upset. They're more upset about some Fortnite shit or whatever. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but I was thinking about The Last of Us 2 this whole time. But yeah, I don't see many people upset. They choose to be upset about other shit. They're not concerned that PC is actually getting all the Xbox exclusives, but nothing is actually exclusive to Xbox. But everybody seems to be cool with everything. Everybody's cool, hunky dory. So, I just don't give a shit. I think that's some bullshit. I think that it should be a two-way street. Uh, I personally don't give a fuck about no Gears Tactics, and I thought they was trolling the fuck out of me, especially when they showed that damn Gears of War pop or whatever the hell that was. I don't know. Woo, I don't know what the fuck that was. Okay, but basically everybody has accepted their exclusives going to PC, but getting no exclusives from PC in return for Xbox. Getting no things that's exclusive for Xbox. Everyone is willing to share. Okay, willing to share. It's one big happy goddamn family, one big happy world. Okay, everyone is willing to share. Okay, don't give a fuck. I mean, I just don't understand. I think it's some bullshit, but I think that same game should be available on the Xbox. I think so, but nobody else seems to care. So why the fuck should I?
Definitely. Nvidia let it be known that he's upset. So let me see here. So did you hear about a developer leaving Naughty Dog to go join 343 Studios?
I think I did hear something about that. That's a good thing. They need to get more of them. And look, I'll tell you straight up, man. I don't see. I'm from an era where I mean, we all from an era where these goddamn gaming companies, they won't about that hunky dory shit. They won't about no bullshit. They went out and they competed for your goddamn dollar. Uh, if I was in charge of Microsoft, I'd be doing everything. I don't know how the contracts go or whatever. I'd be doing everything I could to woo a studio like somehow, some way, like Naughty Dog away from goddamn Sony. I'd be a cutthroat motherfucker. You understand what I'm saying? I'd be cutthroat. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think that's a good thing. They got somebody from Naughty Dog. That means there's some talent. What happened to Amy Hennig? Amy Hennig that left Naughty Dog, and she was going to make that single player Star Wars game, and then EA got rid of her. I wonder what happened to her. I think they should pick her up as well. You know what I mean? Anytime you can address getting actual goddamn proven talent, anytime you can do that, go for it. Now, I don't. That's for Halo though. That's for Halo.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm not going to get excited for it, but I know plenty of people who probably will get excited for that. But, I don't give two red shits about Halo. I just don't care. Gears, yeah, I'm with that. You know what I mean? But we need to see some goddamn. We need to let when you get this talent, when you procure this talent, we need to see Microsoft actually let them come up with new ideas and give us some new goddamn experiences, new IPs. I mean, you can keep making your Halos, you can keep making your Forzas, you can keep making your Gears, man. But I mean, just let these developers express themselves in a different way. Give us some true competition to compete with others out there. You know what I mean? Like Sony. I'm not even gonna start talking. We already know how that shit going. You know what I mean? Sucker Punch making goddamn Infamous, and then making a game like Ghost of Tsushima. You know, I mean, Last of Us. You know, goddamn Uncharted. Everybody seems to be making more than one game and coming up with more than one idea over there at Sony. But it seems that Microsoft just puts everybody in a box or some shit. I don't understand that, but the fact that we are this far into a damn generation, this far into a generation, and there's literally no new IPs other than Halo, Forza, and Gears, triple A quality wise, is in fucking insane from a Microsoft first party studio, man. That shit crazy, man.
Definitely is crazy. You know, Halo, Gears, and Forza is what they've been doing. They gave us a glimpse into the future, and it's Halo, Gears, and Forza, just probably on a new console now. You know, and then real quick, I wanted to touch on Amy Hennig. You know, yeah, she may be talented, but at the same time, I'm saying fuck Amy Hennig, because when she got taken off of that Star Wars project, she pretty much let the industry brainwash her into believing that multiplats are beginning to be the way of the future, because I read an article where she said people aren't playing single player campaigns anymore. That rather than buying it, they're watching it on Twitch and all this kind of stuff.
Well, I mean, the good thing about shit like that is, I mean, when people say stuff like that, you can just throw numbers out there like God of War and goddamn Last of Us and shit like that, and then they
And
can shut the
Horizon
fuck
Zero
up.
Dawn.
You know what I
With
mean?
that being said, yeah. So with that being said, fuck her, because I felt like by her saying something like that, you made your career off of being involved in single player games, and you get removed from a project and let it get you down, and then you turn around in a sense and you bite the hand that feeds you. You know, single player games is what made you who you are, and then you turn around and throw dirt on them talking about, you know, about multiplayers. That's where everybody's moving towards. So yeah, with that being said, fuck her. You know, that's a harsh way to put it, but that's how I feel about that, because
At the same time, I mean, look, there's some underlying truth to a lot of statements. You see what I'm saying? So I can't put her all the way. I'm a, I mean, I don't want to get into this, but I think we can all see what road gaming is going down. You know what I mean? It seems like that's why I'm just trying to enjoy myself with these single player games while I can, man. Because
exactly.
eventually that shit is going to eat into Sony. It's going to eke into there. You know what I mean? These games as a service, always online. You know what I mean? These people are making goddamn hand over fist type of money. Anytime a free game like Fortnite got my son coming to me every damn other week for goddamn $20. You see what I'm saying? They making some goddamn money. Okay, so I already see where this shit is going, and nobody is see, this is the thing. This is why I know it's eventually going to happen, because nobody cares. Everybody is turning a blind eye. No one gives a fuck about that. They choose to bicker and bark about other shit that don't even goddamn matter, but they don't see what is happening in front of their own damn eyes. Eventually we gonna have nothing but goddamn always online, goddamn games as a service, goddamn games. Eventually, you know how Microsoft has a for some reason, even if when they lose in the generation, no matter what place they in, companies seem to gravitate to whatever the fuck they doing. Like people like goddamn Sony starting to charge us for online multiplayer. You see what I'm saying? We had goddamn multiplayer free last generation. All of a sudden, you know, Nintendo wants to charge for their online multiplayer. You see what I'm saying? Like, I can guarantee you, at some point in time, it may not happen fast, okay? It may not happen for a few years, but at some point of time, Sony's going to have their own Game Pass service. That's when you really going to know. You
Yeah.
know, shit is changing. And all I can say is enjoy what you can enjoy right now, because that shit seems to be going that way. It seems that the industry wants to push people that way, and guess what? Ain't nobody giving a fuck about it. I said, look, why the fuck does Twitter, you know, why? Okay, you know, nobody cares. So All I can say to everybody else is just enjoy that shit while you can. Enjoy this shit while you can. Microsoft gaming is going to hell in a handbasket, and it's going to be all
Oh,
because of the charge led by Microsoft.
mhm.
Listen to what I'm telling you.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, and then you had the media getting behind Microsoft because it seems like every time Microsoft makes some kind of move, if the industry doesn't follow, then the media acts like they're gonna fall off, they're gonna fail because they're not getting behind Microsoft's move, towards the future. And then now this thing about being able to play online for free during the PS3 generation, as much as Sony is my preferred platform and I enjoy, my PS4, that's one area where Sony doesn't exactly get a pass with me because I feel the reason why Sony did not charge us to play online with the PS3 is because it did not have party chat. The PS3 was physically incapable of party chat. The hardware made it physically impossible for the console to support party chat. So I think that would have been kind of a slap in the face to charge people for online and charge them the same as Microsoft when
Yeah,
party
but I
chat
mean,
is huge. Party chat is huge with this generation. Uh,
yeah,
that
but
these days no party chat on a video game is like no burgers at McDonald's. You pretty much got to
yeah.
have it. So I knew
But I
that
mean,
when this
Nintendo doing the same shit though. Nintendo. I mean, their shit's supposed to be like $20. So if Sony wanted to charge last gen, they could have just charged your ass like $20 or whatever.
right.
You know what I mean? If that was truly their intention, they could have charged us something. I'm telling you, they got a wind of all that goddamn money
Hmm.
that Microsoft was making from that shit, and they was
Right.
like, "Oh hell yeah!" You see what I'm saying? Same thing with Nintendo. They like Microsoft has a way of affecting the moves of the industry without even being goddamn number one. You see what I'm saying? They know how to make money. You see what I'm saying? Microsoft as a company knows how to make money. So
Hmm.
everything they do, I'm telling you, the whole initiative of goddamn Microsoft right now, which it seems to be from the games they put out far this year or whatever, everything seems to be a games as a service type game where you can get money over goddamn time. You see what I'm saying? Rush shit out the door, get money over a damn time. It just everything is about money, and we know that all these companies want to be about money. Everybody's trying to get their money, but I'm telling you, Microsoft comes up with these strategies. Look, they got everybody talking about whatever this Fortnite shit is. You see what I'm saying? Well, we let you do it. They got everybody concentrated in this bullshit. Okay, eventually Sony's going to give in to the damn crossplay or whatever. Eventually they're going to do it. I mean, I give no fucks either way. I just don't care. But at the same, I'm telling you, man. Eventually, the gaming is just. I'm trying to, I'm trying to enjoy every goddamn thing I can right now, single player wise, because gaming is going to shit, man. I already see that. Hopefully, Sony does ride it out, and say no to the fuck shit. You know, we believe in single player games. I know they believe in it. I know that's their total focus right now. I know that that's Sony's total focus right now is to give us these single player experiences, without all this microtransaction shit or whatever. But that's right now. You see what I'm saying? That's right now. Now let something like Game Pass take off, where they get wind of Microsoft make it all. I'm telling you, it is going to eventually. The shit is going. The bullshit is like a infection when it comes to zombies and shit. It just spreads every goddamn where. It's biting everybody. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to sit here and act like it ain't going to infiltrate the shit that I love, because I see it spreading like wildfire, man. I see that shit. Anytime goddamn Bethesda, who even made a commercial about being single player only and save single player games and everything, and then they make a goddamn online only game, that shit tells you everything you need to know. I already know what's coming.
Definitely. So I want to switch gears a little bit, and I want to analyze the two E3s between Microsoft and Sony. So basically, what I want to do is I'm taking my notes from the E3s, and basically we'll start with the Microsoft E3. I'll ask you about a game, and I'll just name a game that was featured at E3, and you just give me a breakdown, quick breakdown of whether you liked it or you thought it was trash. And so I want to start with the Halo Infinite. What did you think of that?
I mean, you already know, I personally don't give two shits about Halo. So, I mean, I tried to, I mean, I don't know whether it's like I've tried like to play about 3 different Halos, but I can't get in, man. It just doesn't pull me in. You know what I mean? Um, I know a lot of other people though, especially on Xbox. So, from the quality of the game, I mean, I think they said it was, I don't know whether it's in engine footage or whatever, but it didn't look very impressive to me. It just looks like goddamn Halo. You know what I mean? But I don't even know what it would be. I'm not sure if you're familiar with I'm not sure if you're familiar with a YouTuber by the name of Sincere. He part of the Gold Chain Gamers, his YouTube channel or whatever. But he brought up a good goddamn point that never even popped in my head when they showed that Halo Infinity. That word infinity, dog. That word infinity. Pay attention to that word infinity. This seems to be another games as a service type game that is probably going to be built on for years to come. You know what I mean? Like a Destiny or whatever. That word infinity, why is it called Halo Infinity, not Halo 6 or whatever? That word infinity, what is the initiative of Microsoft right now? Games as a service. So I think that Halo Infinity is pretty much going to be set up. It may have a campaign though. But it's pretty much the gist of it. It probably have battle royale, all types of shit. It'll probably be a games as a service game. But I'm not really enamored with Halo regardless.
Oh yeah, no doubt. No, next up was that Ori. I think Ori and Will of the Wisp. What did you think of that?
Ori looks. I mean, it's a beautiful game. It's definitely a beautiful game. I played a little bit of the first Ori. I'm not deep into these platformers. I'm not really deep into these platformers anymore like I used to be. So I do intend to get back to it and finish it before the second one comes out. But I mean, that's cool. It's a decent game. It's a decent game.
Okay.
It's
How
an
about
indie though.
okay? So how about that samurai game that Shadow died twice?
Oh, that shit look lit. Yeah, Shadows died twice. What is it? Sekiro? Yeah, that shit look lit. I like that. I like that right there. I like what I seen from that. So I'll probably be copping that.
All right. Fallout 76.
Fuck Fallout 76.
All right. What about that Captain Spirit? It's a free, I guess it's a free downloadable game with that kid, pretending to be a superhero.
Trash.
Crackdown with no multiplayer. They didn't show the multiplayer at E3.
Trash.
All right. Neo Automata.
Near Automata is a game I haven't gotten to yet, but I will be playing that. I heard good things about it, so I'm definitely interested in playing that. I did play the demo a while ago, and I remember I was saying, "Oh yeah, day one," but I don't know because I ended up playing some other shit when it came out. So you know how that shit go, But yeah, I definitely want to play Nier, but Nier has already been. I mean, everybody knows it's already been on PS4, but I think that's good for the people who want to play it on Xbox.
True. Metro.
Metro is another game where it just doesn't get me. I mean, if that's your thing, I've tried. I don't know which one it was. Metro Exodus. I don't know whether it's the time that I tried it in, because I did try it recently, like maybe a year ago or so. I mean, it looked like trash, but it was an old ass game. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It had a bit of boring pacing to me. I mean, I don't really know what it was, but I'm not really checking for that. But I might give it a try. It's nothing that I'm actually just checking for, anticipating to play though.
Okay. All right, Vidiot. We'll catch you later, man. Thanks for watching. Next up is the Sea of Thieves DLC.
Man, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Hey, hold on, man. How the hell they gonna say you got a certain amount of what they say, 18 exclusives or some shit? You announce a goddamn DLC, man. Oh my
No,
gosh, I don't know what the fuck that was about, man. The
I can't
goddamn
knock
Sea of Thieves. There's no way in hell that shit should be.
as much as I don't care for Microsoft, I can't knock them for showing Sea of Thieves DLC and calling it an exclusive, because Sony did do it last year with the DLC for Horizon Zero Dawn with the Frozen Wilds DLC. So they,
I mean, that's an actual expansion though. That Horizon. I mean, that was goddamn. I don't know. Is Sea of Thieves this content they show gonna be like that? Because I know the last thing, from what I seen was a goddamn 80-eyed shark or some shit that they had swimming in the damn water, and you kill a nigga and you move on, and that was pretty much it. I mean, is that what the fuck they call? I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I know the DLC added to Horizon Zero Dawn is actually story single player content that actually has some hours of goddamn gameplay. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I wouldn't be able to judge that. You will never see my ass get on Sea of Thieves. So I'm good on that, man. Fuck Sea of Thieves. That shit is trash.
all right. Forza Horizon 4.
Forza Horizon 4, that looks very fucking good. I still haven't beat Forza Horizon 3, but that's how I do racing games, you know what I mean? Because I mean, it doesn't matter what fucking racing game it is, unless I have a full blown cockpit or whatever, like I used to have for last generation. That shit made it fun for me. But when it comes to racing games, I'll play for a few minutes here and there, and I might put it down for a month, come back to it, and then play for a few minutes, and so I'm not very excited about a racing game. But when it comes to racing games, Forza Horizon 3 for an arcade title is probably the funnest racing game out there at this point. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I'm in a racing simulator, so GT Sport is my favorite game. What about Dying Light 2?
Yeah, I don't give no fucks about Dying Light. I know a lot of people do, but I'm not really a fan of the first person when it comes to like stories that have a goddamn an environment where it's survival zombies. I'm not really a fan of the first person view and first person parkour and shit like that. That it doesn't do anything for me. But I know the game is not trash. I know it's very quality, and I think the devs have been I think they updated that title all the way up into this announcement, so they're to be commended for that. So I'm happy about that for the people who are actually into it. Dying Light.
Okay, that's definitely a game that's on my radar, because I do like the first person element of it, but I also like the decision making element of it, like Detroit Become Human. So it looks like it combines those two genres. So it's definitely something that I'm interested in. I think I will buy the game, but more than likely it'll be on the PlayStation when I buy it. Next up, how about Gears Pop Mobile?
Man, damn well they almost gave me a damn heart attack when they showed that shit. I was about to say, man, I thought that was gonna be the real Gears that we got. I don't want no parts of Gears Pop Mobile, but I don't think a mobile game has no fucking makes no sense of being on an E3 stage. I don't care,
Mm-hmm.
But look, seems like trash to me. But they try and get that money from that mobile market, so
Right.
we'll see how it goes.
Okay, so you had already given me your take on the Gears Tactic strategy game. So what about Gears 5? That's
Yeah, Gears 5, I'm actually, excited for. I know that a lot of these franchises, people may be tired with, we know they keep making them or whatever, but I mean, that's not a problem. A game like Gears is actually my favorite franchise on Xbox. So, it looks like more Gears, but we got Kate as the protagonist, which I actually liked her in the last game. The only thing I hope is that they remove this, like, it's a lot of situations, especially in Gears 4, where it seemed like it was more horde mode than goddamn story. You know what I mean? Like, I hope they take that element out of it, because, I mean, goddamn, every damn other cutscene, it seemed like I had to set up some goddamn equipment to shoot at motherfuckers for about an hour. You know, I mean, I hope they do less of that. Plus those enemies that was in Gears 4, I gave no fucks about them. But when that shit, they brought out the locusts, you know what I'm saying, then that shit really got good. So, you know, I am definitely looking for Gears 5. I think it's going to be lit. I think it looks pretty good. I think Gears 4 right now is the best looking game on the X. And that's why I want to see more first party new AAA IPs on my goddamn X, is because nobody's going to put that type of love and care into a game other than them. You know what I mean? I mean, you could have all the multiplats in the world, but that shit just does not make the difference. You know what I mean? That's the way I see it. But I'm hyped for Gears 5. You know, it's another Gears, but we'll see how that shit turned out. I mean, I'm definitely copping that day one.
Okay, yeah, I'm getting it day one, but not so much because I want it, but because my son wants it, and then because of the share feature, you know, I buy it for him, you know, then it downloads to my Xbox.
I mean, Gears is basically the only reason that goddamn X is still sitting there right now. I'm gonna tell you that right now. That's it ain't coming out until damn 2019, but that's the only reason that damn Xbox is sitting right there, still in my house right down now.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Now, as far as the Gears 5 goes, I don't have a problem playing as a woman, but I will say I do not like Kate. The bitch had a little too much mouth for me. And then you know, and then that trailer that they showed. Now, this is some petty shit to complain about, but that trailer that they showed, if I'm not mistaken, didn't Kate have like a fucking fur collar on her Gears armor? I mean, like, you know, you know, are you part of the COG, or are you part of a fucking fashion show? You know, wearing that damn fur collar around your neck on some fucking armor.
No, man, I wasn't paying attention to all of that, man. I like what I seen, though, man. I like what I seen, man.
I swear to God, I saw a fur collar around her neck. I'm like, you wearing a fucking armor that's supposed to be bulletproof and, you know, withstand all kinds of elements and shit, and you got a fucking fur collar around it? I mean, now you running around looking like a COG hoochie mama.
I figured that the story was going. I figured that the story was going into her direction, though, from the last one, from the way it ended, what she had in her hand and everything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I figured that the story was going to, you know, go in her direction. I didn't know if she was going to be the main protagonist or not, but I knew that that next story was going to be, you know, pretty much about her. So, you know, I don't know. I like what I see so far. It's Gears, man. I'll tell you what I love about Gears is the mechanics. You know what I mean? I do like the you know, even though it's a corridor shooter, I do like the actual atmosphere that it's in. I like, you know, the locusts as the enemy, not them goddamn robots or whatever though. but you know, I like Gears. I think it has some of the most satisfying shooting mechanics, you know, in a video game. You know, and for a while it took a long time to get into Gears, because I would go, like, especially last gen. I remember somebody trying to one of my friends trying to play with me, trying to get me into it, and I just wasn't feeling it. You know what I mean? And then the next Gears 2 would come out, and then I play a little bit, then I just wasn't feeling it. You know what I'm saying? But eventually, I don't know, I just eventually, especially recently when I got my X, I ran through them, and I ran through every goddamn single Gears, and I just had a ball playing it. I mean, I enjoyed especially the second half of Gears 4 so much that once I finished that motherfucker, I went back and played it on insanity mode. So I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to that Gears 5. I'm in there, but I play it strictly for the one and done part. You know what I mean? The goddamn story. I mean, I know the multiplayer is cool and everything, but I'm not into it for that. I'm into it for the one and done part. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt. You know, and even though Gears is old, I still do like the multiplayer, because when it comes to first person shooters or third person shooters, I definitely prefer the duck and cover rather than that fast ass you know, run and gun that you get out of Call of Duty. And
yeah, you know, the only thing I don't like about the Gears multiplayer, I can only play but so much of it, because it's I mean, it's basically, everyone running around with goddamn shotguns. Like everybody, you know what I mean? That's basically most of what the hell it is. I understand that people like it, the goddamn natural or whatever, but everybody's pretty much running around with a goddamn shotgun. So,
Oh
I mean,
yeah,
I can only stomach so much of it before I be like, all right, fuck this shit here,
no doubt.
But I love that story though.
Yep. Don't call me Danny. We'll catch you later. And Danny, if you happen to be watching at the conclusion of the Lincoln show, I will stream a game of a race of GT Sport, or I will stream another game of MLB The Show. So that's just an announcement to everybody. So whoever wants to jump over there and check that out at the conclusion of the Lincoln show. Now, as far as getting back to what I was saying about Gears real quick, I played every single Gears campaign except Gears 4. And it wasn't because I didn't want to play this, because my son had already played it. When he got his Xbox One X, well, actually, no. When the game first came out, my son played it, and he played it. I watched him get so far into the campaign that it wasn't any sense in me playing it. I just watched him finish it. So even though I didn't play it, I'm well aware of the campaign, but I will try to play this one, and not let my son steal all the glory. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I'm with that. I'm with that damn Gears. That Gears, yeah, I like that shit.
so let's switch gears over to the Sony side, and I'll run down the same thing, blow by blow of their E3, and then I'll ask you for overall winner before wrapping this up. And so
Man, look, there was other games though, man. There was there was other. I tell you, before we move on, I'll tell you what one of them that I am interested in that was showing off at Microsoft's conference is what is it, Cyberpunk 2077. That shit look lit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the hell it is. I still don't know what the hell you're gonna be doing in it. I've read some details, so we'll see how that shit go. From what they showed, but I'm just enamored with the the world that we're going to be in. I like that futuristic shit. I've always liked that shit. So we'll see how that turns out. But I'm definitely hyped and excited for that. Cyberpunk. I don't know what it is, but I know I want to be in that damn world. You know what I mean? But of course, that's that's on everything. So I did want to mention that. I can't really remember nothing else.
Well, I had took notes.
Was it Devil May Cry? I know a lot of people wait for Devil May Cry.
That was part of my notes too. Microsoft showed way more shit, and I didn't want to spend too much time, talking about the Microsoft side because they showed way more shit than Sony did, and I didn't know if you would be interested in a game like Cyberpunk, especially with it being a third-party game. So I was trying to somewhat focus on the exclusives that Microsoft put out when I was
that's pretty much it right there as far as exclusives. What is it, Halo? Forza, Gears, Ori, some goddamn game with a fox in that shit. Look like I don't know what the fuck that was, but that's pretty much it. Yeah, all right.
So switching over to the Sony side, we know how you feel about The Last of Us, because you basically kill somebody for The Last of Us. So let's move on to Ghost of Tsushima.
I mean, but we have to acknowledge the mastery that from that Last of Us gameplay though. The way Ellie moves, I like the fact that she's quicker. She's quicker than Joel. You know what I mean? So you're able to get out of certain situations a little bit better. You know what I mean? I love the fact the movement, the animations, the ducking, the dodging, squeezing in between shit. You got Square Enix developers out there wondering if that shit even real. How dare you doubt the greatness of the Naughty Gods? Okay, how dare you doubt the greatness? I mean, we have to acknowledge that nobody else in this goddamn industry is on Naughty Dog's level. Nobody else is on Naughty Dog's level. So I mean, I just wanted to shout that out real quick. That shit right there. Her sneaking under the car, shooting that woman in the face. Oh, that was beautiful.
That was the
beautiful
right there. Beautiful. She shot that chick in the cheek when she was walking around, and Ellie was holding that gun. I originally thought Ellie was going to shoot her in the knee, but when she bent down and looked up under that car, right through the cheekbone. I said,
I was like, this shit, like you can. This is the thing. You can feel the tenseness the tenseness at home watching it. So imagine how you gonna feel when you playing it. I was tense. I was tense watching it. So that's how I just can't even imagine how I'm gonna feel when I'm actually in that situation when I'm playing that goddamn game, man. That shit is just gonna be fucking lit. I think Naughty Dog is just, oh my gosh, man. If there's anything you can say I'm a fanboy for this fanboy. If there's anything I'm a fanboy of, it's goddamn Naughty Dog. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Oh
I mean,
yeah,
they
no
just
doubt about
unmatched.
that.
They unmatched. They unmatched.
And then the level of detail when Ellie
The
shot that
blood,
chick in the face. Yeah, exactly. When she was
exactly.
and that blood pouring out her face and
The
stuff like that.
the
Oh my
blood pouring
goodness.
out. The if you see when she hit her with the exploding arrow and shit, and it's like blood mist in the air that spreads out in the air like a lot of blood mist. It was like, okay, body parts went flying, and that motherfucker blood mist in the air. That shit was just so satisfying. And when she took homeboy, well, no, she actually pulled that machete out at the end, right? Pulled that machete out, cut into him. And I like the fact that when she cut into his neck first, she didn't chop his head off. You know what I'm saying? That her she is a girl, you know what I mean? And it's not, even though y'all see this shit in movies all the time, it's not that damn easy to just chop somebody's motherfucking head off in one swoop. You know what I'm saying? So I like the fact that the blade was left in this nigga's neck for a quick second. You know what I mean? She poured it out and then she went to chop his shit off. I love the attention to detail. You know what I'm saying?
No
But
doubt
yeah.
about that. And then when one of those chicks was running at her and she stuck that knife up under her jaw,
Oh yeah, that shit was lit, man. That
oh
shit was
whoa.
motherfucking lit. I was like, yo. And then she dodged out the way of homeboy shit. He did tag her ass once though. He tagged her ass, and you see how the screen gets all blurred when she pulled the damn arrow out of her shoulder and shit. Oh yo, another thing, when she ran away from them once she came from underneath the car and they were shooting her ass, and then she ran, and see, that's what I was talking about. Like we wasn't able to do that shit in the last one thing. Yeah, we definitely wasn't. Just ran. Joe was definitely slower than her, and she actually ran through that motherfucker, grabbed that bottle, hit her ass in the face with that bottle, kept on running, and then grabbed her ass, turned her around, and let them shoot her ass with the goddamn arrow. Even though they caught her ass with a goddamn arrow, then she went, ducked behind the damn counter, and then pulled that arrow out. Man, that shit was just so satisfying, man.
No doubt about that. I have watched that. I have watched that gameplay like 2 or 3 times
Yeah, I done
because
watched that shit forever.
it keeps me so hyped. And so next up was Ghost of Tsushima. What did you think of that?
Ghost of Tsushima was a pleasant goddamn surprise for me because, I was into. Let me be perfectly honest here. When they first announced that, when Ghost of Tsushima was first announced, I was like, okay, Sucker Punch working on a new samurai game or whatever. But I'm actually someone who really, really fucking enjoyed Infamous Second Son, right? So I was kind of leading up to that shit before they announced it. Hoping that they was actually gonna give me another one of them motherfuckers. I ain't even gonna lie, low key. I actually want to be another Infamous, but after seeing this goddamn Ghost of Tsushima gameplay and how that shit is so beautiful and how fucking violent and visceral it is, and I mean, after seeing that shit, I'm like, okay, I see why the fuck they moved on from goddamn Infamous Second Son. Okay, you know what I mean? Now
Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm ready now. I'm ready. Okay, I see.
And you talk about the blood, the graphic violence, the gore. When he got ready to face those 3 thugs, and at first one made a move and he sliced him so
Yeah,
damn
yeah, he
quick.
sliced the shit out of his ass.
Yeah,
I said, damn.
I thought he sliced him across his midsection, but he sliced him so damn quick, and then the dude grabbed his neck before he fell out, and you seen a little bit of blood squirt out his neck. I said,
Oh
"Oh
man, yo,
shit!"
that shit was fucking lit, dog. I mean, the way the fucking leaves and shit was flying around and shit, and the way the fucking atmosphere looked, that shit was just dope as fuck. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And it looked smooth. It looked smooth. You know what I mean? It looked smooth. The frames per second and shit. The shit looked smooth. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? And I just think to find out that it is going to be open world. you know, which is cool, but I don't think it's going to be open. You know what I'm saying? We'll have to see how that shit go. You
Yeah.
know, but to find out, found out afterwards that was just a side mission. That wasn't even part of the main story. You know what I'm saying? That was just a side
Oh
mission.
shit.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I
that
think
shit gonna be lit, bruh.
and I think the game gonna have a skill tree the way God of War did too, I
Yeah,
believe.
yeah, yeah. You're gonna be able to upgrade shit and shit like that too. Yeah.
So next up was well, boy, before I say next up, I also needed to bring up that part about when he was fighting one of those dudes and cut his arm off. You
Yeah,
know,
the limb dismemberment is going to be beautiful.
oh
You know what I
man,
mean? That
and
shit
then
is going to be so satisfying. I like, he was fighting the goddamn woman, and she was about, she was going to try to give him the work, and she won't
mhm.
play it around, Yeah, but he had mercy on her and shit. I'd like to see what was the story behind that, why she actually wanted dude, you know what I mean, wanted that monk or whatever,
Mhm.
But yeah, man, it's gonna be a beautiful thing to enjoy. It's definitely up there on my goddamn radar now. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, The Last of Us 2 and Ghost of Tsushima. Those are two games that, like I said, I will play them from my hospital bed. I may possibly rob someone if I need the money to get the game. I could
Yeah,
possibly
but
sell my car, whatever it takes to get the game. Next up was that sci-fi game that looked like Quantum Break Part 2, Control. What did you think of that?
you know what, man? I mean, like Control. It reminds you. You already know. It looked like Quantum Break. Okay, the thing with Quantum Break was all that shit they showed in the trailers for Quantum Break and the gameplay for Quantum Break leading up to Quantum Break, like those type of powers. Now it looks like she's more of it's not the same as Jack Joyce. You know what I mean? The powers are not exactly the same, but it's pretty much similar. But all that shit looked fly in Quantum Break, and that's why that was one of my most, if not the most, it might have been my most anticipated because it was a new IP. Even though it was from a second party or whatever, the third party or whatever, it was a new IP, and I mean that shit just looked different to me. You know what I mean? And I was like, yo, I know this shit is lit. I was actually at a good place with my goddamn Xbox at that point. I was in a good fucking space. But then Quantum Break came out, and the story was like, you had to read. I mean, if you wanted to get the real story, you had to read a bunch of shit. I'm talking about pages and pages and pages of shit on them goddamn laptops, them cell phones and shit you would pick up around. You know what I mean? It was like crazy because you would break the goddamn immersion with the Netflix videos they had in between. Although the goddamn Netflix videos were pretty much more exciting to me than the game. The dude, my boy Burke, who was in the Netflix videos in between that shit, he was a way more exciting character than Jack Joyce, who is the main protagonist was. I just didn't care two shits about Jack Joyce whatsoever. The nigga was corny to me. The animation sometimes kill a motherfucker seemed like the shit was just like niggas was dying before the fucking bullet even hit them and shit. I don't know. Maybe I was tripping, but I mean, I was like, it was decent, and then up to the point when I got to the goddamn final boss. I don't know if anybody else played it. I ain't trying to spoil you. They goddamn final boss. That shit was a joke, bro. That shit was a joke, and that shit ended up, it just disappointing the fuck out of me. So I'm not hyped about this new game Control, until I actually see more about it, see whether they're gonna have Netflix videos in between the shit, see exactly. I just need more info on that before I can get hyped about that. You know what I mean?
Okay. Resident Evil 2 remake.
That's cool. You know what I mean? That shit look lit, man. He bit that chunk out that motherfucking neck and shit. That shit look graphically violent. You know what I mean? And I know a lot of people waiting for it, so I probably will get at a pickup. You know what I mean? I'm not a major Resident Evil fan. You know what I mean? So but I like what the fuck I seen in that goddamn trailer, and I know a lot of people been clamoring for it. So
I
You
did too,
know.
but boy, would that be an extra bonus if they were to add the VR mode to that game too, like they did with Resident Evil 7.
I mean, they probably will do something like that. It probably, yeah, they'll probably work something out with that.
Mm-hmm. Now Kingdom Hearts. To me, both Microsoft and Sony showed this one, but the reason why I'm asking about that one is because if you buy it, I guess if you buy it on the PS4, they're gonna have a Kingdom Hearts PS4 Pro limited edition, and I think it also comes with Kingdom Hearts and Kingdom Hearts 2 along with Kingdom Hearts 3. So, it's just a quick thought on that. What you think about that?
All right, I'm about to admit some shit low key. World premiere, world premiere. I forgot to talk about this when I was talking about in my video about PlayStation's conference, but what they showed, I guess the Jack Sparrow motherfucker or whatever, you know what I mean? All of that shit is connected, right, with the Kingdom Hearts. I still don't know exactly what the fuck Kingdom Hearts is. I know it got a lot of fans, but wasn't that we talking about the gameplay video with Jack Sparrow and all that shit, right?
For the most part, but I'm just like you. I'm just as lost as you are. I've never played any of those, but like when I
Hey,
saw it,
everybody! Excuse me, and everybody in the chat. Hey, tell me if that goddamn Jack Sparrow Kingdom Hearts was that what the is that what we talking about here? I need to know.
yeah, I didn't
Cause I
even
gotta
see.
legit low key admit that when I seen that damn gameplay and I seen dude flying through the air doing what the fuck he doing with his goddamn sword or whatever, I said that's the first time this shit actually made me say to myself, you know what? I might fuck around and get that motherfucker. I might fuck around and try that shit because it's hard to actually. I just don't know what all the fuss is about when people. I mean, a goddamn game with Goofy and all them niggas in it. I don't know. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? But
Right.
I did like that. There was some from that gameplay that actually piqued my interest in that game. Now, when it comes out, will I get it? I don't know, but I'm definitely more interested in it from what I saw from that particular gameplay. I mean, that shit look kind of lit to me.
Mm-hmm. I wasn't interested in it until I saw Johnny Depp in it, and boy, did that look good. So I don't know. I might get it, but yes, they are confirming that yes, Jack Sparrow is in the game. The chat is.
Okay, yeah, cause that shit did look lit. And then I don't know who the fuck it was. Yeah, they was flying through the air, doing all types of shit. All I know, that shit looked kind of lit, man. I ain't gonna lie, it did. Cause I forgot to talk about that when I did mine, but I remembered afterwards. I was like, you know what? Yeah, that shit did fucking. That's the first time I ever. I mean, up to this point, seeing. I know it's a big hit with a lot of people. Up to this point, I was like, Goofy, Mickey Mouse, and shit. Fuck all that. But that last game did pique my interest, no doubt about that.
All right. Death Stranding.
Death Stranding the graphics look dope. You know what I mean? However, that's all I can say about it because I just don't know what the fuck it is. But part of me not knowing what the fuck it is actually intrigued about learning more. You know what I mean? I don't. This shit crazy. You know what I mean? I still don't know through all of that shit. Dude had a goddamn look like a body bag on his back. Uh, the most thing, like the craziest shit to me is I've been trying to zoom in and everything on like the ending of that damn trailer or whatever that gameplay
Mm-hmm.
and see what the fuck that woman popped in her damn mouth. I don't know whether it was a fetus or a fucking some type of bug, some type of water animal. I don't know what the
Yeah,
fuck that shit
larvae or
was that she
something. I
popped
don't
in her
know.
damn mouth. I don't know, but I know Kojima is on some heavy duty motherfucking shit. I'm telling you that right now. That
Yeah.
dude right there, I would never ever want to get on his bad side because he seemed like he would come up with a creative way to come up, and get at your ass. He's a creative motherfucker. Like he'll come up with a creative way to get revenge on your ass. You piss
Mm-hmm.
him off, yeah. I'm not fucking with him. I'm not
Yeah.
fucking with him. But I mean, the graphically, I mean that Decima engine, that shit just looks fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
That shit looks beautiful, and I'm intrigued to know more. But I can't say I'm particularly hype for Death Stranding because I just don't know what the fuck it is. I got the same level of hype for Death Stranding as I got for Cyberpunk 2077, where I know that I want to be in that world doing whatever the fuck them games are about. I know I want to be in those worlds. That's so far where I'm at. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? That's my level of hype for that.
definitely. With Death Stranding, it's one of those games that I'm going to buy it at some point, but I can't say that I'll buy it day one because Kojima love fucking with people, and everybody's got their own opinions of how they're trying to decipher what these gameplay means, these trailers, these CGIs. The one thing that I was able to take from that was that this being this walking around that leaves wet footprints when it's walking around. The only thing that I can distinguish about this being
Yeah.
walking around is that it seems to be able to zero in on the carbon dioxide that human beings breathe out. Because I noticed they covered both their mouth and their nose when the thing was near them.
Yeah, that shit look ill, man. I mean, I'm not even going. It looked like I'm not even going to try to decipher what the hell any of that was about. But I do need to know
Yeah.
exactly what the fuck that was that lady put in her mouth. I need to know what the fuck that is. It
Yep.
won't got no goddamn Mike and Ike. I know that much. It won't. It won't no sugar daddy. Won't no Mr. Goodbar, motherfucker. I don't know what. There was some strange shit she put in her damn mouth, and I think that has a lot to do with the goddamn game because she ate that shit for a reason, bruh. She ate that shit for a reason. It does something. I don't know what the hell it is, but it does something.
She did more than eat it. She savored it.
Yeah, she loved that shit. She loved that shit. That shit was like, yeah. She definitely did like a goddamn Hershey's kiss. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Okay. Neo 2.
Yeah, Neo 2 looks good as always. I'm glad that the people who love Neo 1 are getting a sequel. That's another game I need to go back and actually finish playing. I ain't gonna lie, dog. I got a backlog forever. You know what I mean? But Neo is a hard ass motherfucking game. I ain't gonna lie. I think I tried some shit like in the first few minutes of that motherfucker, after I got through the tutorial and shit, man, them goddamn enemies they appear like holograms almost, man. Motherfucker whooped my ass in less than 20 seconds. I was like, God damn. No, I said, damn, man, that's how we doing. You know what I mean? But I do need to go back and play that joint. I do like those type of games. I think a game like Ghost of Tsushima is just more streamlined. It looks more streamlined to me, you know what I mean? But we'll see when it comes out, as far as the controls and everything, and we'll see how it is when it comes out. But I definitely think Neo is something that nobody really saw coming. I didn't think that Sony was going to actually have any type of surprises. I thought they literally was just going to talk about those 4 games. So I'm definitely going to cop Neo 2, but I'm going to cop it after I playing Neo 1. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And lastly, Spider-Man.
And now Spider-Man was the second game that I basically foamed at the mouth all over because leading up to it, we've seen Spider-Man footage. We haven't seen that much though. Even when they broke it down with the game, a lot of information came out. But as far as gameplay, the gameplay was on a loop. You know what I mean? So we were watching pretty much most of the same damn footage, even when they broke it down with Game Informer. We didn't really get to see any of the, any more villains or shit like that. You know what I mean? But we did know from seeing what we saw in the Game Informer footage, we knew that we was copying that motherfucker day one. You know what I mean? They did enough to show us that, yeah, this Spider-Man game looks like it's actually some put into it. And, I definitely was copying it. So I didn't really know what to expect from what they would show at the Sony Z3, but I didn't expect to get that excited. I already want to play Spider-Man. But goddamn, once they showed that footage, oh my gosh, that shit was fucking lit. The combat, the aerial combat, the way that motherfucker slings his goddamn webs, where he can hit everybody at the same time with his goddamn shit, pin their ass to the ground, grab shit with his webs, swing that shit around, all in the goddamn air, come down in the air, and then whoop their motherfucking ass, go back into the air, swing around. Hey, yo, that shit looked fucking goddamn lit, bro. I said, oh my gosh. And then They showed all the fucking villains that he had. Man, yeah, yo, the way he was swinging around the goddamn buildings and shit when Electro was shooting at that nigga, and you know, the movement just looks so goddamn fluid, man. It just looks so damn fluid. I love when he goes up in the air, then he takes a dive, you know what I mean? And then he catches himself shooting the goddamn web out, you know what I mean? The way he attaches the webs to the buildings and swings around, the animations, everything looks so damn fluid. You know what I mean? He came to the end, they whooped the shit out of him. They stomped the shit out of him, though. That shit looked like Rodney King, boy. They stomped the shit out that boy. It
Yeah,
was
they
like, we don't
did.
have to do this right now. They stomped the shit, Rhino, all them niggas. They stomped the shit out of him, right? And then he looked up and he was like, oh, you? You know what I mean? Is that you or whatever? I want to know who the fuck that is. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
me
But
too.
that gameplay, man, that shit is almost that gameplay. The crazy thing is, I wasn't expecting to get any more excited for Spider-Man than I already going into there, but that shit was almost up there with the goddamn Last of Us 2 gameplay as far as my excitement for what the fuck I saw. Like, I cannot wait until December the 7th. I cannot wait. I'm going into work on December the 6th, telling them niggas don't expect me to come in this motherfucker for the next few days after that. I'm going to tell them eat a dick. I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? That's how that shit going down. I needs that damn Spider-Man in my life right goddamn now. Only thing I'm mad about is that they didn't announce a damn Spider-Man PS Pro, man. That shit needs to come. And we don't know what the fuck what he's sitting on with the statue that you get with the collector's edition. I already got two of them motherfuckers pre-ordered, one for me, one for my son. They didn't unveil what the fuck Spider-Man is sitting on with that statue and shit. But I hope that shit happens. You know what I mean? But yeah, Spider-Man, man, that shit impressed the fuck out of me way more than I thought it was gonna do because I knew I was already getting it, man.
Yeah, without question. All of those games had me hyped. So last question. Who do you think won E3?
See, this is a very touchy goddamn topic, man. It seems with so many people, it seems like it depend. The best way I can put it is this way, man. This is the best way I can put it. It depends on what you watch E3 for. Okay, if you watch E3 for the presentation, the flow of how, these gameplay trailers come at you and how many multiplats or whatever a company shows on their stage. If you judge it off of the presentation and things like that only, then I got no problem with you saying that Xbox One, because that's what you are looking at. That's what you're looking for. Okay, if the presentation gets you hype, and everything like that, showing multiplats, that is what you are looking for. That's not a wrong answer. That if that's truly what excites you. Now, what I look at it for is exactly what type of experiences are, Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, what type of experiences do they have to offer me that I can't get anywhere else? Because with me, multiplats are multiplats. We're not saying they don't matter, whatever. Every game matters. There's a lot of goddamn multiplat games I want to play, right? But nobody will actually show the power or get the true juice out of your system that a first party dev will. That it just won't happen, you know what I mean? Or a second party, whoever, has access to your system and your system only, they have the time, they have the access, the money backing them to get everything out of that system. You see what I'm saying? So they're these, when you have an exclusive game like a fucking Last of Us, like a Ghost of Tsushima, like a Spider-Man, like a Death Stranding, even though I don't know what the fuck it's about, you know what I mean? You can see what separates these games from the pack. You can see what separates these games from everything else that everybody else will be playing. So I'm looking for, you know, experiences that I just can't get anywhere else. Games speak to me more than presentation because, look, let's be real. Months are going to go by and my fucking outlook of looking at my goddamn Xbox One X in here ain't gonna change because ain't shit coming out, motherfucker, except for what? Another racing game, another Forza. I like it, I'm gonna play it on Game Pass, whatever, what I'm saying, here and there. I'll play a few minutes here and there, but it's nothing to actually get me excited until that goddamn Gears 5 come out, next holiday, whenever. You know what I mean? So as far as looking at the show and looking at what the fuck someone is offering me to play in the near future, and that is going to take advantage of my purchase was purchased for, I have to, for me, give that win to Sony. You know what I mean? Because I can't play presentation. I just can't play it. You know what I mean? Now, I'm happy for what I heard coming out of the Microsoft camp as far as them getting studios. You know what I mean? We have to see the results. I'm happy. I can't argue that. I don't think nobody's going to argue about the presentation, between the two companies. Nobody argue that Microsoft had the better presentation. So if you believe that the presentation is better than the games, that's what you watch E3 for. I can't argue with you, but I watch it for the games and preferably the experiences that I can't get anywhere else that takes advantage of the hardware that I purchase.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I declared Sony the winner, truthfully, by a landslide because everything they showed was gameplay. So we know what we're going to be playing when we actually play the game. And it's like you said, you can't play a CGI trailer. So Sony's the winner.
I mean, at the end of the day, you can say, it's just crazy that you can say, okay, we showed you 50 games. Okay, that's cool. But goddamn, they going to be everywhere. Them games going to be on PC, all that shit. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, goddamn, some of them going to be on Nintendo out this bitch. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I need to see exactly what it is that Microsoft themselves have in store for me in my Xbox One X. I need to see what Sony themselves have in store for me in my PlayStation Pro. I need to see what Nintendo themselves have in store for me in my Nintendo Switch. You know what I'm saying? Or my once had Nintendo Switch, because I that shit took a road trip. I ain't gonna lie. All you gonna show is goddamn. You gonna show this my second. That was my second Nintendo Switch, but all you gonna show to me is Smash. No goddamn Bayonetta. No goddamn Metroid Prime. I'll holler at y'all again. And I know I'm putting money in these goddamn companies' pockets like shit. But I'll probably end up buying another damn Switch when those two damn games are said to come out. But I just couldn't. I wasn't doing anything with my Switch for quite some time. You know what I mean? So I was like, fuck it. That shit had to go. But that's what I look forward to is what the fuck I'm getting from that particular company, because we all know, yes, I'm excited for some of these multiplats, you know what I mean? But we all know that you can play them shits anywhere.
Oh yeah, no doubt about that. And so with that, I'm about ready to conclude the Lincoln Show. We've been on for a couple of hours, and I ran out of questions. So with that being said, I definitely want to thank you for coming on board. It's a couple of weeks since I did the Lincoln Show, and I couldn't have had a better guest come on than you to get the show rolling again. You had a lot of good insight, and I want to thank you again for coming on the show.
Oh man, I appreciate being here. You know what I mean? I've been invited on quite a few shows, you know what I mean? But I just haven't. I haven't been able to get this goddamn equipment situation worked out. You know what I mean? I'm an old head, man. I can learn this shit. But every time I start up with my goddamn laptop, man, that shit just eventually it kicks me out, and then I end up, trying to do it on my phone or whatever. So that's why I be trying to, keep it professional for people. You know what I'm saying? But I know that you wanted me on here, so I definitely, I wanted to come on here and chop it up with you. I enjoyed myself. I do appreciate you for inviting me. You know what I mean? Everybody in the chat, thank y'all for coming out. You know what I mean? I fucks with all y'all, most of y'all out there, unless you a fuck boy. You know what I mean? But
You know, I mean, look, we need to start if we gonna protest shit and shit like that. Well, we need to keep that protest even. We need to protest all this fuck shit. You know what I mean? Let's stop the fuckery out here. Let's stop the hypocrisy. Okay, you know, basically at the end of the day, everything should be about the games. That is the only thing that concerns me, and that is all. You know what I mean? That's it, man.
Yeah,
But
no
I do
doubt.
appreciate it, man.
Yeah, and that always, as always, at some point, I'm going to start round two. You know, in terms of Pat people that I've had on the show in the past. At some point, I'm going to start round two, and start bringing some of those guests back. And I definitely would like you to come back again when I start round two.
Yeah, that's cool, bro. That's cool. That's what's up. You know what I mean? I mean, whenever I'm available, I'm down, and whenever I'm available. I got a crazy ass job, I'll be working damn near sometimes 7 days a week, sometimes six. Sometimes I actually get my couple of days off. So, just let me know ahead of time or whatever. And, definitely, man, I'll be willing to chop it up with you again.
Mm-hmm. Without a doubt. And real quick for the viewers that happen to be watching, I have put a link to Don's channel here in the comment section. Make sure you click on that link, go to his channel, subscribe to his channel, check out his content. And for those who still watching, I'd say in about 45 minutes, I will do some sort of stream, MLB The Show, GT Sport. Maybe I'll try something different tonight, but I will do some kind of stream at 11 p.m. Eastern for those who want to hang out and hang out with me. Then we'll see you there. And this is your boy Lincoln Clay. I will get to work on talking to my next potential guest, and I'll let you know as soon as that comes up. And I definitely want to thank objdadon for coming on the show, and I definitely want to thank him for coining the phrase trash.
All right. Thanks, folks. See y'all later, man.
Yep. Y'all have a good one. This is your boy Lincoln Clay. We are out. Let me see.